we've kind of shaken things up for this service today. In a good way. So I want to share a quick message with you this morning. And for part of my story, I'm going to need a helper. Is there somebody who would be willing to help me? Raise your hand. It could be anyone. So, if you perch right here, I'll come and ask you to help me in just a minute. I had a favorite book growing up. I would make my mom and dad read it to me repeatedly, night after night, day after day, and I never seemed to get bored of it, even after hearing it hundreds of times. Perhaps you know this story. It's called Where the Wild Things Are. It's a great story. It's the story of a youth named Max whose mom calls him a wild thing because he's very mischievous. And because of this, he retreats into his bedroom and then goes on a magical adventure, sailing across seas in his boat to a land where he becomes king of the wild things and has a marvelous celebration with big creatures with terrible claws and teeth. After a time, Max becomes homesick and he sails on his boat across many weeks and many hours back to his home to find a hot supper waiting for him. Where the Wild Things Are is a story that celebrates imagination, adventure, and the human longing to belong and to feel safe and loved. Perhaps I loved this book because, just like Max, I was curious and creative with a vibrant imagination that often led me to get into a bit of trouble. I remember going on adventures with my cat, whose name was Joe the cat, into the tall grasses of the backyard, and I would get lost for hours, exploring, collecting interesting rocks, plants, and bugs, and filling my pockets with the artifacts of my adventures. So I have some here for you. What do you find? What do you find? Flowers. I would collect flowers. Bugs. I did. I would put bugs in my pocket. That's a church mouse. Somebody made me a church mouse. A marble, yes. Berries. A rock, a precious rock. Every rock was beautiful to me. And lots of leaves. And my mom, she would have to pull these out of my pocket, probably terrified each day of what she might discover next. But like Max, thank you, Margaret. But like Max, I too loved coming home to a hot supper and a warm bed after a long day of adventures. Stories, the stories we read and the stories we tell about our own lives connect us to who we are and who we want to be, and they connect us to each other. Yes, that's exactly what my mom would get annoyed by. I know her ears are ringing this morning. Our stories connect us to each other, and this is why today makes such a difference, and why we gather each week and we make room for time for all ages, and we tell stories because stories are special, and sharing stories is special too. It's part of who we are. It's part of what makes life holy and sacred. Lately, I've been asking myself, what does courageous love look like during this difficult time in our world and in our lives? As this question has popped up over and over again, this last week especially, I return to the power of our courageous stories that come through when we take time to love each other into being. By nurturing and attending to our relationships and our congregations and our communities, we begin to make and create resiliency and to live the transformative love that's at the heart of our lives and at the heart of our faith. Writer Chima Okun writes, quote, "A grounding principle of every social justice movement is a commitment to the power of building relationships in the service of community." That feels so powerful right now, and it's something we can do. Today, we're going to take time to tell our stories, to strengthen our relationships for the service of community by pausing to share moments that make us who we are, moments that make us happy, reminding us that life is joyful, that we can help one another, and that each of us is connected to a tapestry of love and connection. The invitation this morning is to find a friend, perhaps a new friend, and to spend 10 minutes taking turns sharing stories about a time when you were surprised. At the 5-minute mark, we'll ring the bell as a notice to change partners so each person has an opportunity to share. And because I was once that deeply shy, introverted person, if you would prefer to write your story, we have paper and pens available, and our ushers will pass those out. Just raise your hand. And if you would prefer to simply use this time as a space of rest, simply place your hand on your heart, and we will honor your choice just to rest with us today. Our online community will also have an opportunity to share during this time. Our Zoom host will create groups of 2 for sharing. So, are you ready to find a friend, a new friend, and to share a story about a time when you were surprised?